Hi everyone, for today's math video, all you need to do is pull out your homework and remembering 8.15 and make sure that you're paying close attention. I'm going to give you some tips on the homework side. If you do not want to watch this video and you're good to just do it on your own, you can. But again, I would recommend watching it because it's going to give you some tips. And by it's, I mean I am. Miss Fisher is. Okay. Just like on 8.14 assignment, you're going to circle all the names that apply here. So this should be a lot easier than the quadrilateral one based on the congruency marks. If they don't have any congruency, then you would know that it's scalene. And you would just have to look for angles. Remember, if there's one angle that's obtuse, it's automatically obtuse. If there's an angle that's right, hint, 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 it's automatically a right triangle. The other ones you need to check to make sure, whether it's obtuse or acute. In order to be acute, all three have to be acute angles, so be careful about that. Okay, on 5 through 8, this is what I wanted to spend some time on. 2 of these are not possible. I'll let you think about that for just a minute. 2 of these are not possible. So if you look at number 5, can you sketch a shape that's a triangle with 2 obtuse angles? Well, if I use my journal to go back to what an obtuse triangle is, it has to have one obtuse angle to qualify. And we talked about this in the previous video. You cannot have more than one obtuse angle in a triangle because it would equal more than 180 degrees. And all triangles, the sum of all angles add up to be 180 degrees. So number 5 is not possible. Can you draw a right scalene triangle? Well, I would use your journal to see if there's anywhere in there where we drew a right scalene or a scalene right triangle. If we did, you can use that example or come up with your own. Number 7, can you draw an acute triangle that is not equilateral? Use your journal. Use the ones that we drew and see if there is an acute triangle that was not equilateral. Number 8, can you draw a scalene triangle with a line of symmetry? So no sides are the same. It can be obtuse scalene, or it can be right scalene, or acute scalene, but could you draw one that has a line of symmetry? That means if you drew a line over it and folded it over, would the shape fall onto itself? So I'm going to leave that up to you to figure out which one of these, number 6, 7, or 8, which one of those is not possible. I already told you number 5 wasn't, but you need to use your journal and your brain to figure out which one of these is the one that's not possible. The other 2 you need to draw. So you're going to complete all on the homework side. And then on the remembering side, it looks really complicated, but you know how to do these. When you divide by a fraction, here's a tip. Keep, change, flip. How do you flip 6? 1 over 6. If it's not division, so like number 5 and 6, and number 3, those ones are not division. You do not get to keep, change, flip. You're just going to multiply straight across or simplify first. If it's a whole number, remember you throw a 1 underneath it, you extend the bar, and now you can multiply straight across or simplify. Same with this one. Throw a 1 underneath, extend the bar. There's a slope, but that's okay. You're still going to multiply. So you just figure out how to do that part. On 7, 8, 9, and 10, these are going to take some time. So I wanted to remind you about how to do this. On number 7, it says rewrite each mixed number. So they want us to multiply, then add, change this mixed number into an improper fraction. So it would look like this. You keep 3/5, and then you're going to change this. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 1 is 7 over 6. How did you know it was over 6? You better be singing. Because the denominator is stubborn and it stays. Yes, it does. Don't you wish I was rattling the stamp bin right now? So that's what 1016 changes to. It's 7, 6. They're the same thing. It's just represented in a different way. And then you can multiply straight across. I wouldn't do that though. I would probably simplify first if I extend the bar because I see a relationship between 3 and 6. What do you know about 3/6? You should know it's 1/2. If you don't know that, then you would divide each one by 3. And 3 divided by 3 is 1. and 6 divided by 3 is 2. And that's what I was saying, is 3/6 is 1/2. And now you look for the other relationships. There's not one with 7 and 5 or 2. So then you multiply straight across, and it ends up being 7/10 as your final answer. If you didn't simplify first, you would have gotten 21/30, and then you would have to simplify, which is fine either way. But don't forget to do that on all of these when it's a mixed number. So you'll have to do that for both of these. On number 9, multiply then add, multiply then add. You'll have to rewrite them as fractions here. 6 times 4 is 24, plus 5 is 29 over 6. Because the denominator is stubborn and it stays, you're still multiplying. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 1 is 11 over 5. Because the denominator is stubborn and it stays. Take a look at that. 29 times 11 and 6 times 5. Well, are there any relationships between 29 and 6? Or 29 and 5? No. What about 11 and 6? 11 and 5? No. So you can't simplify first. How annoying. 29 times 11? I have no idea what 29 times 11 is. I don't know if you know your 29's times tables, but I sure don't. So I'm just going to come and do that work over here to the side. 29 times 11. You can do multiplication a lot of different ways. We've learned a lot of them. Some of you do it fastest, doing this standard way. Some of you still like to do the place value boxes. Whatever you want to do to get the answer of 319 is good with me. So 319 is just the numerator. So the fraction is 319/30ths. Do you think Ms. Fisher wants you to leave it as that improper of a fraction? The answer is no. What I'm looking for when you get to a complicated problem like this is now your division skills. Can you take this fraction and divide it and figure out a mixed number? So remember, when you're dividing, it's 319 divided by 30, which looks like this. 319 divided by 30. Now it shouldn't be too bad. 30 goes into 31 once. That's pretty nice. Bring down the 9. Can 30 go into 19? Think about that. If the answer is no, you have to put a 0 up here. Will 30 go into 19? No. So what's 30 times 0? 0. So I get 19 left. Remember, I'm looking for a mixed number, so that's perfect. I have 10, and 19 is the numerator. The denominator is stubborn, and it stays. If 19/30ths could be simplified, then I would have to keep going, but it doesn't get simplified. So you need to move this answer over to number 9. So we'll have to write it a little bit smaller, but that equals 10 and 19/30ths. So even though it required a little bit more effort, you can do this. I think I just did the hardest one on the whole page with you. So you should be fine on the rest of these. 11 and 12 look like what we did for homework 8.14. So make sure you use your journal if you need help with circling all of the names of these shapes. And you do not need to do the stretcher thinking. So good luck to you on the homework and remembering. Use your journal if you need to. And have a great day.